Yeah, guys, at last I'm on. I know, apologies again for the delay. I'm actually on with the Buzz debate show at last, and loads to chat about. And obviously, my match, of course, the Bees against Newcastle. Got to do the reaction for that on here as well. Another goal crazy game at the G Tech. I don't know. It's madness there. How we keep, well, we're scoring plenty of goals there, but conceding as well. And we have to sort out our way form. I think that's the only way we're gonna stay up where we are. I mean, we were six. I'm not sure we are now, but I haven't really checked it properly lately. But we were certainly up there. We were a six at one stage, so we need to work on our way form if we're gonna stay that way, get up there. I mean, that'd be amazing if we could have a top 7 finish or something, 8 even. Maybe Europe. I'd love Europe, but, the away form is the problem. And still actually leaking goals is also a problem. We really have got to get that sorted. We need more defenders. I think new defenders. I mean, there's no good waiting for Rico Henry and Aaron Hickey because they're going to take forever. Let's try and get some defenders in January, right and left back, and bolster that defence, as far as I'm concerned. And obviously, we will start with that. I mean, also I've got all the other games to cover. We could go through a lot of those, and obviously predictions for the matches. The one tonight, West Ham and Wolves, of course, and matches for the weekend, of course, and everything. And also talk about the sad thing that happened, the crash that involved Mikel Antonio. Terrible, horrible, horrific crash. Obviously, we're going to that. He is okay, by the way. He's had surgery and stuff, but might be out for a year, it says. I've obviously got an article about that as well. Got a comment here. Kev Flavin, what a job Thomas Frank is doing for you. Very entertaining team to watch as well. Well, yeah, bit too entertaining, mate, at the moment, at home at least. Yeah, be up to you, Kev, by the way. Thanks for coming in, bro. Thank you. Yeah, too entertaining at home. Scoring plenty of goals, but conceding them as well, which is not great, is it? But there you go. I probably will get into that to start with. I'll bring Manny on as well. I've got Manny here, and we'll bring him on, my guest here, and go into it. Be up to you, Mr. T. How's the ear, my friend? Don't say pardon.
Yeah, the ear's fine, thank you. And I'm grateful to the doctor who pretty much treated me. All he did was use some cotton wool and a rather long stick to just clean out all the gunk. And there was, I mean, I don't want to go into the details, but obviously he relieved the problem and made it crystal clear that I am not to get any water in that ear under any circumstances. So looks as though I might have to wear kind of an ear cap while I'm having a shower. But it's a small sacrifice. And just, a word of advice to everyone watching: do not try to clear your ears. You think you can get it, but there will be a time when you go a bit too far and you hurt yourself. And I'm just glad that it was nowhere near as bad as I thought it would be.
No, that's true, mate. You don't want that coming up to Christmas. Really bad problems with your ear, would you? So, yes, sounds all right, though. It sounds like you managed to get it sorted a bit. So, just keep it like that, mate. Try and keep it good. It's only one ear you done, isn't it? You had a problem with?
Just the only one where, I had all the wax. It's a real pain. Literally, but now I understand what to go about it. Just get someone else to help you with it. What is that? And it's just as well that my dad was a practicing ENT surgeon back in the day. And I suppose in many ways his advice kind of helped.
Yeah, definitely, mate, definitely. But yeah, I'm glad you got it sorted. But let's obviously get back to the football, and obviously our match, goal crazy match again at the G-Tech. We're certainly scoring them, aren't we? And you did have 3-2 here, I remember rightly, and I said no, I don't think we'll win or whatever, and I thought it'd probably be the other way, or it might. I said a Desmond as well, and I thought, but yeah, we won again. But I'm still worried, Manny. I'm still worried about the goals we're conceding. I really am. It's not good.
Yeah, I was actually back. Some of the obviously speaking about, find it is to be scoring goals at home, but leaking goals is a problem. And the away form obviously has improved. I do believe last time I checked, you were sixth in the table, behind a now somewhat resurgent Aston Villa, although, I don't want to talk about how they've got their resurgence back. But obviously, there are some issues to solve. That bit you said about trying to get new defenders in the transfer window, that is, that can't be further from the truth. And if only we had shown some foresight to try and do something with more of the, the perennially injured players or the so-called deadwood in our team, we wouldn't have that many problems. And of course, us drawing to Fulham is just the latest setback which sort of confirms that we have no chance of winning the league. But as far as concerned and Brentford are concerned, I do agree with Kev and what he said. A very entertaining team to watch with the goals you're scoring, and you certainly know how to get the attacking juices flowing. Now, if only we all had an answer as to why you can't quite get it done away from home. I mean, home comforts, mate. It's home comforts. And sometimes, maybe other atmospheres can be a bit intimidating. But I'm sure you'll get it right, and I'm sure you'll get something out of it very soon. And just taking a look at the list of goal scorers you've got there, the smooth operator got you fourth, and of course Bueno and Vissa, and who was the third one? It was Collins
as well,
the Irish captain. So, yeah, and obviously having Christian Norgard back in your team really helped.
Yeah, no, Collins seems to get a few goals for us from that defensive position. He seems to go through and get a few goals now. And that's good to have, isn't it? Somebody from defence that can score. You know about it yourself with Saliba and Gabriel and all that, scoring you goals. So it's good to have somebody else come with a goal, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. I mean, for all the talk of how we're sort of now set piece FC, we're still scoring goals. Ashes to ashes, dust to dust. If Magalhaes can't score, Saliba must. And Saliba did, in fact, score yesterday, and I'm thankful for that. But small crumb of comfort in many ways. So, yeah, it is good to sort of have the goals spread around. But having said that, you've got something that Arsenal don't. Not one, but two reliable strikers who are bang on form. All we have is a German donkey and a fake Brazilian who comes off the bench. And then even if you want to have someone else scoring the goals, we have the Belgian Waffle who waffled his way on the field yesterday. So, look, you do have the makings of a really good team. And what I would suggest is in January, you should look at one or two defenders and maybe try and work on the issue of your away form. And I don't know. I'll be honest with you. I don't quite know if you will actually get a European position. I think the top four go into the Champions League, fifth gets the Europa League, and sixth gets the Conference League. If you do manage to stay sixth and get into Europe, that would be a wonderful feather in your cap. But there's still a long way to go. And I think we need to start by reading that report of that goal fest at the G-Tech. Fire away, sir.
Yeah, I wish I could show it, Manny, but I'll probably be copyrighted, wouldn't I, if I showed that video? I think I tried it before and got done for it, I think, at one stage. It's a shame, really. I'd like to show the goals, but other than talk about them, but I'm sure a lot of people have seen them anyway. They probably see them on Match of the Day or somewhere else anyway, so... but anyway, yeah, Brentford maintained the best home record in the Premier League with a 4-2 victory over Newcastle United.
Yeah, I saw them on the...
Oh, you saw them, yeah? What was that, a Match of the Day, did you say, fella? Did you say there, buddy? What did you say?
Yep.
Where? On Match of the Day?
Not Match of the Day. I mean, obviously I have a different sort of package.
Oh,
no,
yeah.
I'm just saying it's not Match of the Day necessarily. I mean, it's not Match of the Day. I get my feed from the Premier League channel, and obviously, yeah, because obviously, Ian Wright doesn't work with the BBC anymore, but I do see him frequently on the Premier League channel, as I also see quite a lot of other people. So obviously they have their highlight shows and other highlights packages.
Oh.
So, there's no way that you can miss any of the action that took place, not live on your telly.
Oh, nice, mate. So you might have the equivalent of a Lineker or something doing it, or wherever else they have. An Alan Shearer or whatever. Or two baldies, two slapheads doing it.
Yep.
Yeah, Shearer and Murphy. Yeah, so but anyway, Brian and Bomo, this. Yeah, go on, mate. Sorry.
Shearer and Wright.
Shearer and Wright.
Just saying, I don't get to see Murphy that often, but Shearer and Wright I definitely see, and I'm so
Yeah, well, Ian Wright's left it, isn't he? So he's left Match of the Day. So and then obviously Lineker is as well, isn't he? So we don't know who's going to be the host there now, but Mark Chapman don't want to do it apparently. So got to find someone else. Never mind, but I'm sure they will. But anyway, getting back to this, Brian and Bomo, Johan Visser, Nathan Collins and Kevin Sharda. Or Sharda, you see people call him Shardy or Sharda or Shady or whatever. So I don't really know the actual pronunciation of his surname, to be honest. We're all on target as the Bees battle to a first league win over the Magpies since 1948. Yeah, amazing, wasn't it? None of us were even born then. Neither of us, Manny. Can you believe it? Saturday's win means that Thomas Frank's side have dropped just 2 points from possible 24 at GTEC Community Stadium this season. The big news before kick-off was Frank's decision to hand striker Igor Thiago a first Premier League start. Yes. And he done okay, what I see of it. Fit again, Christian Norgard and Fabio Carvalho also came in while Vitaly Janelt, Mikkel Damsgaard and Sharda, or Sharday, let's call him Sharday, smooth operator, were the three to make way. Defender Christopher Ayer returned to a matchday squad for the first time since October, which was good to see. Following a minute's applause for Hall of Famer, John Doherty, great guy, great player, ex-manager as well for the Bees, passed away earlier this week at the age of 84. It was the visitors who created the first chance. Alexander Isak shifted the ball onto Sean Longstaff on the edge of the box, and the midfielder rattled the crossbar with a fierce effort. The Bees took the lead on 8 minutes, and it was a trademark and Bomo goal. It was a cracker, actually, a great goal. Did you say you see these, Manny? You see them? Yeah. The forward took Norgard's lofty pass in his stride, skipped past Lewis Hall and Joel Linton and stroked the ball into the top corner. What a goal beyond Nick Pope, who was left rooted to the spot. But Brentford's lead was short-lived. Shortly after the restart, Jacob Murphy cut inside and whipped the ball into the box from a central area, and Isak stooped low to head home. Carvalho, fed by Mbomo, was thwarted by Pope before Flecken came to the rescue at the other end. Isaac capitalised on Colin's slip, rounded the Beekeeper, and had only the retreating Ethan Pinnett to beat on the goal line. But Flecken, well, it was a good stop, actually. Made a miraculous recovery to edge across and swipe the ball away from the striker. He's sort of getting back in the good books. A bit of credit, slightly, Flecken, for that as well, but only a bit. Yeehaw Yarmaluk, teed up by Thiago, blazed over the crossbar while Bruno Guimaraes dragged wide from 20 yards as an end-to-end game continued at a frantic pace. Frank's side were back in front on 28 minutes. Visser intercepted Barnes' poor crossfield pass, drove forward and expertly guided the ball into the same corner as Mbeumo from the edge of the area. For a second time, Newcastle levelled less than 4 minutes later. Murphy, in an advanced position on the right, worked the ball to Barnes in the box, and the forward made amends for his earlier error by drilling low into the far corner. Roles were then reversed as the Magpies went in search of a third. Barnes lifted across towards the back post and Murphy's header landed on the roof of the net. In the final action of a pulsating first half, Murphy's deflected cross was... Yeah, okay, mate, no worries. Murphy's deflected cross was turned away by Flecken at his near post. Brentford made a blistering start to the second half and Mbeumo, Thiago and Visser combined down the right. The latter's cross took a deflection of Tino Livramento and Pope inadvertently turned the ball onto the post. Barnes and Murphy both fired over before the Bees bagged the third. Fabian Schär and Thiago competed to meet Flecken's free kick on the edge of Newcastle's area, but neither made contact. The ball dropped kindly for Collins, who showed the composure of a seasoned striker to poke beyond Pope. This is swerving effort, another great strike, brilliant. From 25 yards after Carvalho's free kick was cleared, was held by the keeper. Not that one, but he scored, obviously, cracker. A Newcastle corner was only cleared as far as the edge of the box, and substitute Anthony Gordon blazed over the bar. Visser's low drive through Dan Burns' legs after a quick Brentford breakaway was well held by Pope. The visitors passed up a big chance with 5 minutes left on the clock. A second phase attack after Kieran Trippier's free kick was initially cleared. Isaac cooked in a cross from the byline and Sandro Tonali's header flew just over the crossbar. And the Magpies were made to pay. In the final minute, Norgard clipped a pass into Mbeumo. The forward slipped in Kevin Schade, and the Germany international lifted the ball over Pope and into the net. Good finish, actually, really great finish. The assist was Mbeumo's 11th goal contribution in the Premier League season. Brilliant, brilliant. The Bees almost extended their lead in the final moments. Pope, a long way off his line, was robbed by Mbeumo. The forward shot from distance and Byrne made a goal line clearance to prevent the West Londoners from scoring a fifth in stoppage time. Frank on a well-deserved win. Brentford head coach Thomas Frank was delighted with his side's performance on Saturday, as they scored 4 times to secure what the Bees boss described as a well-deserved win. I'm just so proud and pleased that at the end of a three-game week, we performed like we did today, he said. I thought we played fantastically. It was a well-deserved win. Over our physicality and intensity were very good. With a small squad, our players showed how fit and ready they are. We also scored some fantastic goals. Our front players are on fire. It was a very good Saturday. Right, so just want to look at something else here. Hold on a minute, guys. We'll be back soon. I'll bring Manny back as well. Just got to get to something on here. And, there we go. About John Doherty, actually, as well. We'll talk about him in a little while. I'll bring Manny back. What did you make of the match then, Manny? The report, obviously, I read there.
Yeah, well, I mean, obviously it was a typically dominant Brentford performance, but Newcastle did have some chances of their own. I think maybe their lack of clinicality kind of hurt them in a way. But one of the reasons why I did say that you'd the edge was because I just think if you take a look at the midfield, for example, they always play a 4-3-3. Yeah. So again, it's
Yeah.
invariably Joe Linton or Guimaraes or someone accompanying them. If it's not Joe Willock, it might be Jacob Murphy. But for some reason, I just don't think they've been quite able to have that same level of bite as they did last season. And obviously, I think Tonali played, and I don't know if he was able to be quite effective, but you can't be too harsh on the bloke. He did have literally an entire season out due to that gambling and scandal, and the poor couldn't even play for Italy in the Euro. Of course, that was yeah, yeah, this year I should. But you know, I just thought that you had that more of an advantage. I was confident predicting 3-2 win, and they ended up going one better, which obviously mucked up my prediction, but I was happy for you. And obviously, I do remember you jokingly saying maybe I should come over here again and predict how well you might do in your next game. Maybe we'll cross that bridge when we come to it. But as Thomas Frank said, it was a really good. And I think the return of Norgard also really helped because, one definitely who seems to add a lot of steel to your line. And certainly when he, I think the leadership that he provides is invaluable. So obviously when it comes to the fullbacks, you will need to try and look for some replacements. And maybe once Henry and Hickey are fit, you might consider maybe sending them out on loan and maybe, just saying goodbye to them because you just don't know if they're as efficient as they were before those horrific injuries they have. So, I mean, it was a good day, a wonderful performance, and now you just have to try and find a way to start winning away from home. But once you start, I think you're knackered. And obviously, we've got a very solemn piece over there. Former manager John Doherty. Do please read about him so that we can all learn about him.
Yeah, sure, mate. Yeah. I think it was last week he passed away. I did meet him a couple of times. Really great bloke. Really nice guy. Good manager, actually. Not bad. Very good manager. Decent player. But yeah, I'll read this. Former player manager and coach John Doherty passes away at the age of 84. Doherty made 252 appearances and scored 79 goals for Brentford. There you go. Which is a figure only 10 men have bettered during the Bees' time as a football league club. Doherty was inducted to the club's Hall of Fame last month. Rightly so. All at Brentford are deeply saddened by the passing of former player manager and coach John Doherty, aged 84. Doherty's long connection with the Bees began in 1959 when he was signed from Glasgow-based St Roches, whatever. Time at Sheffield United and Reading broke up 3 separate spells, during which time the 5'5" winger, named Player of the Year in 1966-67, made 252 appearances and scored 79 goals, which is a figure only 10 men have bettered during Brentford's time as a football league club. Doherty also played a starring role in the 4th Division promotion of 71-72. After a matter of months at QPR, following his release in the summer of 1974, Doherty returned to Griffin Park as manager, replacing Mike Everett in January 1975 and took charge of 78 games. He was back for a final time in February 1984 and worked as Frank McClintock's assistant until taking over as Millwall manager in July 1986.
Ooh.
In recognition of his outstanding contributions to the club, Doherty was inducted to Brentford's Hall of Fame during a ceremony at GTEC Community Stadium last month. There he was there, obviously accepting the award. I'm glad he got that. I'm glad he managed to accept the award before he passed on. That was brilliant. I really do. Everyone at Brentford would like to pass on their condolences to John's family and friends at this very sad time. John's life and legacy will be honoured before Saturday's game against Newcastle United. It was and done well. Rest in peace, Doc. Yep. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it was observed really well, which I'm glad it was. Both fans observed it. Brilliant, you know. I'm sorry, I'm a little bit upset, Manny, because he was a great, great man, great manager, and showed what he done there as well as a footballer, you know. Yeah, brilliant.
Yeah.
Sorry, mate. You like to talk a bit.
3 spells at Brentford. Yeah, 3 spells at Brentford, definitely a part of the furniture, and also had a 1-year stint as manager before moving on to other endeavours. And it's amazing that there is a bit of an Arsenal connection with him. I think he actually succeeded one George Graham, who came to Arsenal, and he ended up sadly leaving Millwall before a certain Bruce Rioch, his fellow, came in there. But just taking a look at his Wikipedia page, obviously, sadly, there's not that much mentioned about his playing career, but he certainly had a knack for scoring goals and definitely scored plenty while at the Bees, and was certainly someone very popular. And obviously, with Brentford, as was mentioned, I think he was part of the team that got promoted from the 4th division, and also did some good things with Cambridge United and Millwall. And when a player has, left such an impact on a club and been a part of that furniture effectively for a very long time, it is obviously going to be a very sad day when he passes. And, even though he went away, he always kept coming back in a way. It's like you don't want to call him a prodigal son, because that there's sort of a rather a derogatory connotation there. But he just couldn't stay away from from Griffin Park, and it is really sad that he is now left. But one thing which I always say when it comes to people who pass is that when they leave, a part of them stays with us, and that part becomes a part of us as we continue to live on this earth. And obviously, I don't think maybe your dad would have had the pleasure of seeing him play. I don't know. Maybe he'll remember how good a player he was. And you think of the memories, obviously, and you're reminded of how great he was, and they stay with you, and they never leave you, and that's the way it will certainly be. So rest in peace, Doc. And the Lord has another managerial candidate for his football team.
Yeah. Well said, Manny. Well said, my friend. Brilliant.
Back, Steve.
Yeah. Okay, mate. No worries. Yeah. Thanks to Manny for saying all that. I echo that, of course. Fantastic guy. Great. My dad did see him play quite a bit, actually. He was quality as well, really good player. So, sadly missed now. It's always sad when we lose legends, especially of our football clubs. Obviously, Manny will feel the same. He's had a few gone from Arsenal that passed away, notably David Rocastle at a very young age, which is really sad. Fantastic young player, great player, a lot of talent. Sadly missed, and obviously a lot younger age than John Doherty when he passed away. It was a real shame. Sorry, man. I was just talking about David Rocastle there. Because as you know, you've lost legends from your team that passed on, and he was one at a very young age, wasn't he? When he passed away. So it's a shame.
Yeah, I think you're talking about Rocky Rocastle, right? David Rocastle. Yeah, that was a real heartbreaking loss in many ways. I remember seeing him play, obviously, in the early 90s, and he was an absolute magician with the ball at his feet. It was heartbreaking, of course, when he got sold to Leeds United, and nobody felt the pain more than Ian Wright, obviously, who, as he said, marched into the office and demanded answers as to why that was happening. But the season after he left, we won the FA Cup and League Cup double. A season later, we ended up winning the European Cup Winners' Cup. Well, Rocastle played against us in the '95 final with Chelsea, but sadly lost to eventual champions Real Zaragoza. And as you mentioned, there have been other legends as well who have sadly left us over the years. And as I said, their memories will remain. For me, it's always going to be that wonderful goal that Rocky scored against Manchester United at Old Trafford. Beautiful shot, dipped over the 6'4" Peter Schmeichel, hit crossbar, hit the back of his head and went in. And to me, yes, it might have been credited as a Schmeichel own goal, but for me, that will always be, Rocky's pure class. And yeah, you can't forget him, mate. You can't forget them.
No, he was a talent, wasn't he? He was an absolute talent, that guy. We moved past that. But as I say, RIP to John, and best wishes, and for at this sad time to his family and friends. And we'll miss you, Doc. Always will. But anyway, getting back to this, I'll go through the player ratings quickly before we move on. If you want to join in, Manny, you're welcome. I know you obviously did watch the game, didn't you? So see the goals and stuff. So
no, I didn't actually.
Oh, you didn't?
No, Steve, okay. I didn't see. It wasn't screened on telly. You can give your ratings, and I will concur with everything you say.
Oh, right. Right, well, Flecken, yeah, okay, conceded 2 again. He did 1 or 2 good things, though. I've got to admit, that thing where he denied Isaac a goal, when he went past him and he still was on the ground, he still got dived at his feet and grabbed it away from him. That was brilliant. So, I do recognise the good things he does, Manny. Not always, most of the time, a lot of the time, but he does do some good stuff. So when I see that, I will commend it and give him credit, and that was good. So I will probably give him, because still the thing is he conceded 2 goals. Maybe you can say whether that was his fault or not. He could do anything about them, probably not. I'll give him a 7. It would have been more if he kept a clean sheet.
Very good. Generous.
If he kept a clean sheet, I probably would have given him at least 8 or 9, something like that. But, well, I got on Bomo there, but I won't go to him yet. I'm going to the defence, really. Pinnock, I thought was decent again. Fairly solid, I guess. But then again, as we say, 2 goals conceded. So, no, I'll give him. You know what? I'm going to give Flecken a 6, and I'm going to. Sorry, I've knocked Dots off a point there, and Pinnock a 6 as well. But I'm going to give Collins 1 more because of scoring. That always adds a bit more, doesn't it? Once you score. So I'm going to give him a 7, Collins. I thought he was really decent at the back again. Came out brought the ball out well, good on the ball. You know, the other day he done a great forward ball for Shardy on, was it last Saturday? In that incredible match. Was it 3-2, wasn't it, against Brentford? God, it's gone so quick. But, you know, that incredible pass he done through and he scored. Was it the 3-2? I don't know. I've forgotten now. But I know he got the hat trick, obviously, Shardy. No, it's a 4-1, wasn't it? 4-1. Sorry. Yeah. So he got a hat trick, and Collins done a great ball through, and some great stuff in that as well. So, but yeah, I'm gonna give him a 7. Vandenberg, I don't know. He's okay. I think he's getting sort of okay, decent. I'm not sure. I'm still undecided. But I'll give him a 6, I think. Yarmouk, you know what? He does some good stuff, this young man. And I mean, I think, Thomas was raving about him as well after the game. I don't know if you see that. I shared that, them in the changing room and all that. And, you know, Thomas going, yeah, and Yeehaw, what a player. He's going, what a player, and all that, you know, and everything, you know. And I thought, well, yeah, there's some good things I see with this young man, you know. So I'll give him a 7, I think. Norgard, brilliant. Sorry, mate. Did you say something there, Manny? Did you say something, mate? Oh. Right, Norgard, yeah, I'm going to give him...
Be back.
Yeah. Hey? Sorry, mate. Oh, he's gone again. Gone. Yeah, I thought Norgard was brilliant. I'll give him an 8 there. I think he was superb. Yeah. Lewis Potter did get butts, but I thought, yeah, he was decent. He was really good. Lewis Potter, I'll give him a 7. Yeah, let's go to Thiago. Yeah, he got his debut. First match for us, starting. I thought he put himself about well, got himself about really well. Don't think he had that many scoring opportunities, but looks physical enough, looks good enough, quick, can be sharp with summit touches, and I mean, because basically he was the replacement for Tony. So, you know, you can see some of what Tony used to do in him. And I think he will get there. Obviously, he's been out so long, you know, since nearly the start of the season. So, you know, I've still got to give him time. You've got to be patient with this man, you know, and see what he can do. And I see quality there. I can see why they bought him as a replacement. I'm talking about Thiago here, Manny, obviously. And, you know, I can see there's something there. And I'll give him a 7, you know, for his, you know, getting himself about and, you know, getting into the game a bit. Good touches here and there, great little touches, passes, you know. So, yeah, I'll give him a 7. As I say, Norgard, I gave an 8, by the way. So I thought he was brilliant. And Carvalho, I don't think still ain't done enough yet when I've seen him. And it's a shame, really, because I think he's going to be a really good player. He was great at Liverpool, you know, he off on loan a bit at other teams, but I think he's got the ability. He's got ability there. I know his dad sort of slagged this off a bit and said, "Why has he gone here? Why has he come to Brentford?" As you said, I think rightly said at one stage, it's a bit of a Ramsdale thing with his dad, you know, similar to that. and whatever, slagging us off or whatever, But, I think he can be good. I'm still waiting to see, his full, ability, what he can do. I'll say a 5. Right, and then Bomo and Visser. Now, this is the tough one who I give man of the match to. It probably will just be Bomo, I'm afraid. I think he was superb, and what a goal he got, that first one. And, I'm giving him a 9. I thought he was amazing. He was brilliant. And Visser not far off it. I'm giving him an 8, Visser. And I thought he was really good as well. So, yeah. So, and the Bomo's man of the match for me. I thought he was superb again, And he can do it at home. I want to see him do it more away, though. He goes missing sometimes.
Good call.
Bomo goes missing a bit away, and I'm not happy with that. I know what ability he's got, and why can't he transfer that to away as well?
Yeah,
it's strange, but the subs obviously Valdemarson again not used. We know why. Mag Homer came on for Yarmulke in the 95th minute, so he didn't have a chance. So can't really score him, mark him at all. Konak again not used. Ross left not used, thankfully. Yes. He's left on the bench. Brilliant. Yes. Sorry, Manny, I carried away there. Shardy came on and scored, and what a fine finish. Great finish. And I'll give him a 7 for that as well. Came on for Thiago there. Me came on for Visser, 87th. Didn't get a chance to do much. I can't mark him really. Trevitt was there higher on the bench, which is good that he's come back. I'm glad about that. Need him back. And Damsgaard, of course, he was playing most of the time, He came on for Carvalho in the 73rd minute. He done a little bit. I'll give him a 6, I think. So he did do a little bit when he came on. Newcastle, maybe you can mark them, Manny. What you think of them? I think they were actually a little bit disappointing some of the time. That defence was poor, and that's coming from us, But their defence was.
I think I told you, mate. I see the game, so it wouldn't really be fair for me to offer ratings based on my own. Anything I say will probably be based on my own opinions of them, and not based on the performance. I suppose obviously Nick Pope had another disappointing game. I wonder if there's something that's affecting his own form and confidence, because he's been making some good saves, but he also has been making some pretty poor mistakes. And I think Eddie Howe, as much as he likes him, cannot really be naive to sort of ignore all of that. I think I probably would give a 5, but as for the rest, I don't know if I can really help you there. I mean, if you saw the match, maybe you'd be a better judge of that than me. But maybe since this is more of a Brentford thing, I think we'll sort of go away from Newcastle thing. Is there anything more that you'd like to discuss, though?
Not really with that, no. I think that's about it, really. Obviously, we will go into our next match on the predictions thing, and that's Sunday, but we will go into that in a little while. We'll move to this though, and that's really about the games, the results on the weekend. We'll go through those. This is obviously Ben Bloom. This is looks back at a thrilling weekend featuring big wins at both ends of the Premier League. Good one for you, Manny. John Duran. So good they named him twice. Scored the only goal against Southampton. Was taken off eventually and had a bit of a strop for a wobbler, basically. But yeah, what more can you ask? He scored a goal on his first sort of full game. He's generally a sub, isn't he? Really, and comes on and gets goals. So
and I think it's really nice that Emery gave him a start. One thing which kind of disappointed me, though, was his decision to play Emi Martinez both against Brentford and also Southampton, because it did seem clear to me that the big Argentinian was having. I mean, he had a bit of an injury after Nicholas Jackson clumsily fell on him, and there was talk about how Martinez played through pain. But I think what Emery did was effectively tell Olsen he had no trust or faith in him, because he'd rather play a half-fit Martinez ahead of him. And I know that Emi's the defending world champion and the winning goalkeeper of the last Copa Americas, and also, of course, the best goalkeeper in the world. But still, you've got to give your second goalkeeper a little bit of confidence there. I suppose, keeping a clean sheet against Southampton justified it, but look, Southampton never really tested Emi Martinez until near the end, when one of their subs, and I don't quite recollect his name, but he did whip in a real beauty of a cross, which could have been met by a support that would have been obviously Martinez was able to claim that. And it was a game where Aston Villa had many, many chances. They were huffing and puffing to blow the house down. And it's nice to see some rotation there, obviously, with the likes of also starting another. They do have a big Champions League game against an out of sorts Leipzig. And they will be expected to pick up 3 points and, helping them progress even further in the competition. And obviously, the race for the 8 spots in that table is heating up. So yeah, not really an attractive win. I think the win played a role in that, but it was 3 points, 2 wins in succession. They're back up to 5th, and when you consider the horrible run we're having in both the Premiership and the Champions League, the fact that they're 5th, it beggars belief, really. And as far as Southampton are concerned, I think they're no hope. They're absolutely hopeless. They can't score for, and they can't defend for even less than that. So, there's really nothing much to say. The one surprise is that I did predict it would be a 3-1 win. I was wrong on both counts. Aston Villa kept a clean sheet. Worryingly for them, they couldn't even score more than 1 goal. They got the 3 points, and that's really all that matters. I think they're starting to, get back into their stride, and we'll see how they perform against Leipzig on Wednesday. But now I need to talk about Southampton. They're out.
Well, I think I actually agree with you as well, didn't I? I think I had 3-1 Villa as well, Manny. So, but yeah, they won. That's the main thing, wasn't it? And they kept a clean sheet, the 1-0. You know what? It really is such a shame you hate Martinez so much, Manny, isn't it? It really is a shame.
Knock it off, Steve. You bloke. But I just think that, listen, I am fair-minded, and I am willing to say, if something isn't really quite right, I am willing to sort of call it out. I just think Emery, what he's done with Robin Olsen is a case of poor man management. But, it is what it is. Maybe Olsen will get some games in the FA Cup once it starts. And, that could be a realistic chance for them to earn a trophy. We'll see what happens.
It really is a shame you think so little of Martinez, isn't it? Sorry, I'm being sarcastic.
Yeah, I know. You're being, yeah. Not an issue.
Yeah, but no, that's another win for Villa. They come back on a roll now after beating us. The big beat us. Oh shit! Yeah, beat us. Wait. But yeah. And speaking of us, yeah, we just mentioned us there 4-2 against Newcastle, and yeah, pretty much said it all in the preview. The reaction. But a great win, and we move on, of course, to away game, another away one. So expect us to fail miserably away, Manny. But anyway, Palace and City. Well, What a game this one was.
I'll be back, Steve.
Okay, mate. No worries. No worries. Yeah, what a game. Palace and Man City. Well, 2-2. Who had that as a result? Me and Manny didn't, that's for sure. Well, I think we both had them to win. Me and Manny had City to win. So I think we had 3-1, maybe 2-1. I don't know. I know we had them to win. I didn't think it'd be a Desmond there. A real surprise. But City, well, we thought they'd turn the corner a little bit, but still struggling a bit, aren't they now? And what Pep said as well, we go into that in a little while. I've got the article about that. Well, what Pep's saying, a bit of a mystery again with what he's saying. It's all a load of bollocks as far as I'm concerned. Not a polite term, but it's true. He comes out with a load of bollocks, that Pep Guardiola. But we're going to that in a little while, Britt. I'll bring Manny back. And, well, we didn't have a Desmond here, did we, Manny?
Yeah, I mean, I wasn't expecting a Desmond. I was also predicting that this would be 3-1. But, once again, City are going through some problems, and it will remain to be seen if they can actually solve them in time enough to be able to mount any sort of a comeback. But, there does thing kind of spreading through the team, kind of an ennui, if you will. It's as if, as I kept saying, several players and the entire team are coming to, as it were. And maybe it's time fresh blood is needed. And if City do want to keep Guardiola, there does need to be a match. But credit to Crystal Palace. They certainly were good value to earn a win, only for Rico Lewis to say no. But then Rico Lewis, of course, ended up getting himself sent. Stupidly, it must be said, in the case of that booking he got. And in many ways, City are sort of becoming the masters of their own downfall. And Palace have shown they are still side, and obviously having Ebery Eze back is helping. But this was a match where they probably will feel they needed to win, and they still need to pick up some more points. Maybe once they start winning, they will start to pick up more points. But then, they did switch last time around before this, and I think they would have fancied they were playing, getting something from this. I think that would be with the results.
Yeah. I've got an article about obviously what Guardiola was saying. I'll read that after we've done these, Manny. So,
oh boy, once again,
things
I'll be back.
Coming out with again. And Manny's gone again, I think. Yeah, Man United 2, Forest 3. Well, we certainly didn't have this one either. Real baptism of fire, I think, for Amorim at the moment. It's not really worked, but I suppose there are seeds of it there, what he's trying to do. I think we can see some of what he's trying to produce here with United. There are some good signs, but obviously Forest, well, what a win for them again. They go to another big ground, another big team they face, and they beat them. Done it to Liverpool, as we know. And now they've done it to United. So, they can certainly turn up against the really big teams, can't they? And really do well. And they're in a pretty decent season, really. A real shock here. Certainly none of us had this to Forest to win. Did we, Manny? We didn't have Forest to win. No way.
No. I think I was predicting a 3-1. You might have had a 2-0, I think. I might have said 2-1, obviously, because I thought, with Amorim coming into the team, there was no way that Forest could, upset their apple cart. But, you have to give credit to Forest. I mean, they've had a wonderful, wonderful season. so far. And I should stand corrected. I think Forest are 5th, Villa is 6th, Brentford is 7th. So that kind of explains some kind of discrepancy. But that just goes to show how brilliantly Nunes has done. And, they're just playing with, a level of authority, confidence, which would be befitting any top team right now. And they're doing a lot better now under Nunes than at any point under Steve Cooper. As far as United are concerned, what was I saying to you about, not everything that glitters being gold? I really don't think Amorim should have left Lisbon. Leave a team that's doing well in the Premier League, still top, and doing magnificently in the Champions League to come and slum it with supposedly a big club in name. In fact, the fact that Amorim went to say that United is just a big club, but not a big team, I think that says it all. And obviously the man loves a challenge, but it could potentially be another Graham Potter story all over again. Although hopefully for his sake they don't go on that bad a run of form. And there are some issues to be solved. There are some players might not be a part of the plans anymore, and that's another club which is in need of some major surgery, I would say. So I think Amorim probably trying to stabilize the club, hope that he can, keep them high in the league enough to. I don't think he'll get European by the league. Maybe he should aim to a cup or two, maybe the Europa League. That should be as good as yes. Right.
Yeah, brilliant though from Forest yet again. They've done it again. Incredible. And they're having some season, to be honest. Can they really finish up there, though? Can they be up there near the end? That'd be amazing, but not totally sure. There's a long way to go still, so don't think they, going great so far, but still too. Oh, here we go. Sorry, Manny. Have to move on to this. Fulham won, Arsenal won. Take it away, fella.
Oh, yeah. Well, I think I'll just read what was written. Arsenal's away troubles flared again at Craven Cottage with another Craven performance, it must be said. Could very well be said that Fulham might be a bogey team of ours. That's 2 points we've taken from them in 3 consecutive league games. And a lot of horrible moments in those games, it has to be said. A lack of potency in open play, leaving Mikel Arteta's side with just 1 win in their last 6 league matches on the road. And you thought you lot were back. Despite dominating for almost the entire second half, Arsenal scored only once. When, Big Willie style, Saliba converted Kai Havertz's knockdown from a well-worked corner routine. The match highlighted the Gunners' growing reliance on set pieces after scoring twice from corners to beat Manchester United earlier in the week. Is there anything more that's written, or is that?
I think that was it, mate. Hold on. Yeah, there is some more. There is. Indeed, it is now 2 successive matches in which 75% of Arsenal's expected goals, XG, have come from corner kicks. Saliba's goal was Arsenal's 23rd from a corner since the start of the 23-24 season, more than any club in Europe during that time. The only Premier League defender with more goals from set pieces than Saliba's six since the start of the 22-23 season is his regular centre-back partner, Gabriel, who has scored 10. Gabriel missed both the Man United and Fulham matches through injury. Raul Jimenez had given fine goal. What a goal, this guy. I'm glad he's come back from that head injury. He's a fine player. Raul Jimenez had given Fulham the lead with their first shot in the 11th minute, but they managed just one more shot during the game. Only against Man City in May have they had fewer shots in the Premier League home match on record since 2003-04. Arsenal thought Bukayo Saka had provided a late winner, but it was ruled out for offside in the build-up. Yeah.
The correct decision. Martinelli was offside as everything was taking place. And, if you take a look on YouTube and you see these fan reaction videos, you'll see the likes of all of these, Arsenal YouTube content creators going from ecstasy to agony in the matter of about 120 seconds. And as frustrating as it was for me, just seeing them go from ecstasy to agony is kind of glorious to watch, I must say. Same people who, big up Arsenal for every little thing without any real cause. And, a lot of people are going to talk about how we deserve to win the game because we had the better XG, we had more shots on goal, we dominated, or as former England cricket coach David Bumble Lloyd would say, we flipping murdered him. Couldn't get the Lancashire accent right there, but I'm sorry. The only stat that matters at the end of the day is that they scored one, we scored one, we ended up with a point, and that's pretty much it. And that's that 1 point from our last 6 away games. That's just poor, absolutely poor, and we have no excuses for that. That is not title challenging form. That is not Champions League challenging form. And we have to sort of try and stop the rot, and we have to do better. Otherwise, we're going to have the same cycle again and again and again. End of the season, Arteta, Palagalie, out.
Yeah, I hear you, fella. I know, I get where you're coming from. It's not good.
I'll be back.
Okay, mate. No worries. Cool. Yeah, it's not good. It's you certainly. I don't think you're not going to win the Premier yet again. I'm afraid it's going to be another year of failure for the Premier. I mean, whether you could still win another cup, maybe FA Cup, Champions League, well, possibly not. As I know, it's looking. I don't know whether you can win anything. It's. I don't think it will be the Premier. I'm sorry, my friend, but I don't think it's going to be the Premier somehow, which is a shame. But really is a shame. That Spurs will miss. Spurs. Sorry, Arsenal will miss out once again. It is a shame, mate, but there we go. I'm just saying, I don't think you'll win the Premier. I think you'll miss out once again, mate. I'm sorry. And whether you'll get FA Cup or something, don't think.
You don't need to apologize. We've accepted.
Can you see anything? FA Cup, Champions League? No, Champions League, surely not. FA Cup?
No chance.
Still
Aston Villa have a better chance in the Champions League than.
Yeah, true. Well, Emery, they got Emery, so of course they could win it, But yeah, you still got to carry a bad cup, don't forget. But we're in that, so we don't want you to win that. So we want to win that. But because we're probably bound to get you, aren't we? If we get past Newcastle, we'll probably get Arsenal. That's always the way, isn't it? So, but yeah. Anyway, we move on. And what about this one for the Cherries? Yet again, another win, beating Ipswich this time 2-1. Brilliant result.
You got to feel for Ipswich. Yeah, you got to feel for Ipswich though. They can't buy a win of late, but you can read that, please.
Yeah, Ipswich Town's wait for a first Premier League win in front of their home fans since 2002 goes on. After Bournemouth inflicted late heartbreak. It was. I felt sorry for Ipswich. They took the lead, of course. The hosts had taken the first half lead through a first Premier League goal for Connor Chaplin, sorry. Waddling down the wing with his cane, like that, moustache. But anyway, who has now scored in all of England's top 4 tiers. Brilliant. He's a good player. I rate him, really good player. Hopes that Chaplin's goal could prove to be the winner were dashed when Ines Unal found Bournemouth's equaliser on 87 minutes before his fellow substitute Dango Ouattara made it 2-1 to the visitors in the 5th minute of added time. It was not the first time Andoni Iraola's team had pulled off such a feat this campaign. Having also came back to sink Everton, I remember that, in August, Bournemouth are now the first side in Premier League history to be training as late as the 87th minute in 2 different away matches before they went on to win in the same season. Yeah, brilliant. I think what did we have for this? I think did we have Bournemouth to win? Okay, mate.
I predicted a 2-1 win for Bournemouth because I just thought that.
Yeah,
you did. I think you did. And the reason why I predicted a 2-1 win was because Ipswich, after their loss to Crystal Palace, I just didn't really think that they quite had it in them to really get any kind of a result. And the sad part is they could be just like Luton were last season. So much fight, so much spirit, winning hearts, but not enough points, and they ended up going back down. And it's sad, but it's the reality. A willing spirit sometimes can only get you so far if your flesh isn't strong enough. And it just proved that Bournemouth had more stamina, more of the staying power. And certainly the super subs came to the party and they delivered. And I've got a mate of mine who supports Bournemouth who sent me a message saying, "Brother, I can't believe you actually predicted a late goal. But well done, good prediction." And I told him, don't ask me for lottery numbers.
I don't know, after you predicting us to win, I mean, maybe you should. I didn't think we was going to win, and you did. Yeah, but it was not bad. I mean, they only scored 1 more, didn't they? So that was pretty good. We only scored 1 more in the end. But anyway, what about this one, though? Leicester and Brighton 2-2. I think we had Brighton to win this, did we not?
I certainly thought Brighton would win, but credit to Leicester. I don't know what it is, but Jamie Vardy seems to be almost back to his old self, and the Foxes seem to have a little bit more fight in them. And it was De Cordova-Reid, the former Fulham midfielder, who got the late equaliser. And once again, Brighton are going to have to look back and back on this and say that was 2 points dropped, even with Hutzler back. And when you're playing at the King Power, obviously, I think Nistelrooy does seem to have won the fans over, and they suddenly start. I think they started to enjoy playing again. I don't know what it is. I think Leicester will still have some even tougher to come. To play quite a few teams in the top half of the table, certainly a few in the top 6, but they're starting to look a little bit better. And I'll tell you what, we beat them 4-2, but we were far from convincing at the end. We're not going to find it easy when we go to the King Power, believe you me.
Yeah, definitely not.
But you found it easy, though.
Well, yeah, true. We did, mate. But yeah. Anyway, let's move on. And what about this for a game? Spurs 3, Chelsea 4. What a match that was in the end! Incredible. But Spuds blow it yet again.
It's the history of the Tottenham.
Yeah, it is. Well, what can we say? 2-0 up, were they not? And yeah. blew it yet again. It's but good from Chelsea again. You know, they come back yet again. They come back. They was behind and still come back. So could we talk about a team that's in the title race here, Manny, with Chelsea? And speaking of Chelsea, big up to Chelsea.
Let me just first of all start by saying, let me just start by saying big up as well to Tony Clark TV, one of the channels, of course, which I always mention. I went on his call-in show last night where he asked the same question. And I think the best person to answer that question is Chelsea's manager, Enzo Maresca. And he said, no, they're not in the title race. What they're trying to do, Steve, is pretty much establish a style of play and start doing a lot better. And they are going to have some, tougher tests coming up. I know they've already, signaled their intent by the way they've played in certain games, but there will be some bigger tests as well. They've also got to play in Europe and, in the cups. So still too early. And I just think Liverpool, despite the fact that they had their Merseyside derby postponed due to Storm Darrow, and I also hope that people living in that vicinity were not affected. Well, fine. I think Liverpool just look just that little bit more efficient under Arne Slot. And let's not forget that when Chelsea went to Anfield, they lost to Liverpool, if memory serves me right. So Chelsea are by no means the finished article, and I think it's still too early to talk about them being in a title race. But obviously, with us faltering, they certainly are the team to potentially challenge Liverpool. But one thing we've noticed from Liverpool is that whenever they have a slip-up, they recover very well. And that's sort of how it proved after that draw against Newcastle. I mean, it hasn't yet, but you and I were both predicting that pretty much put Everton to the sword, dodged a bullet. And I still, let's not forget Liverpool are also flawless in the Champions League in terms of wins. So no, I don't think Chelsea are quite in the title race yet. If they are, they're still some way behind, and there should be no talk of them even trying to catch Liverpool. And I know that Kev disagrees with me. And obviously, one thing on which we can both agree is that Cole Palmer, the cheek and the confidence to take that Panenka penalty. What a player he is! But Palmer's going to have some big.
Yeah, it was amazing. He's a quality, fantastic player, Ice Cole Palmer, isn't he? Ice in his veins, that man. Incredible. Superb. I think Chelsea fans pretty much agreeing with you as well, Manny. No, we're not. Not title contenders. But they are right up there. So you've got to, if they continue this run going, surely they've got some chance. If they can keep it going, It is still possible.
Quite, but then it would require Liverpool to have an almighty slip-up, and I really don't see that happening.
Yeah, true. But anyway, we move on and got this article, as I was going to say to you, Manny, I was going to go through with Pep Guardiola, again, talking in riddles, again. He says Man City's only aim is now to survive the season. So, make that what you will. He's saying here, Pep Guardiola demanded his Manchester City players, fine, no worries. His Man City players accept the challenge as the defending Premier League champions look to survive the season. City fell behind twice in Saturday's 2-2 draw at Selhurst Park. where Rico Lewis scored a second-half equaliser before he was sent off, ruling him out of next Sunday's Manchester derby. Guardiola was missing 7 potential starters through injury or illness for the trip to South London, and he said, "It's football, and we know that this season will be like this." What I said to the players was, "Don't feel sorry. Please accept the change. It will be more difficult, but that's what it is. And maybe at the end we will have more satisfaction in the way that we are going to respond to these problems, and maybe to the other seasons that we won the title. All teams want their players always fit and ready, and unfortunately, since the beginning, that could not happen, and it's going to be, I think, for longer. But one way or the other, we are going to try." City with 27 points are 8 behind league leaders Liverpool, who have a game in hand after their Merseyside derby was postponed by Storm Dara. John Stones, Nathan Ake, Manuel Akanji, Matteo Kovacic, Rodri and Oscar Bob were all ruled out of the Palace trip by injury, while Phil Foden was unavailable due to illness. Erling Haaland's 13th goal of the season cancelled out Daniel Munoz's 4th minute opener. Summer signing Maxence Lacroix opened his Palace account to fire the hosts back in front after the break. But Lewis salvaged the draw in the 68th minute before he was controversially booked for a second time following the change with Trevor Chalobah. With Kevin De Bruyne, Jeremy Doku, Jack Grealish and Ruben Diaz all having recently returned from injury, Guardiola is thin on fully fit personnel. The season starts difficult. It will be difficult all season, added the City boss, whose side next travel to Juventus for Wednesday's Champions League encounter. "We have to survive the season. Every game, try to take points, try to win games and go forward. Unfortunately, Lewis is an important player for us for the next game against United at home. But in general, what they have done in the circumstances is really, really good. From the beginning, everything was wrong and unlucky many things, and we have to continue with that, with the players that we have at our disposal. We go to the Champions League now in Turin and try to perform well, and we take the results." Crystal Palace's season has been the mirror image of their opponents. While City have slumped since late October, it was at the same point that the Eagles snapped an 8-game winless streak with victory over Tottenham. Palace have now picked up 10 points from their last 7 top-flight games, but remain 17th, 4 points clear of Ipswich in the relegation zone. Glasner, who said he deliberately dialed up Palace's intensity in Saturday's stalemate, said, "We don't feel unlucky. It was a good performance, but I think we can do better. It's always up to the players. You support them. It's important to be fit and stay fit. Otherwise, you never reach your best. You can't play on your best level. You need the training. You need the games. We need the minutes. We need all the players fit. We need them sharp, being ready to play how we want to play. I think then we will still have a lot of potential to improve." So Manny,
what I got there was a manager who's no. Yeah, so what I got from that, Steve, was basically a manager who sort of is a little bit half resigned to his fate, bullish about everything. Obviously, he'll try to defend his team the way he spoke about how proud he was of the way they fought against Crystal Palace, but deep down he knows that once again it was another disappointing performance, and Rico Lewis will need a bit of a talking to. And as far as Kyle Walker is concerned, you know, he really is a walker. He can't run. And I'm afraid, you know, I'm sure when AK came on the channel, he pretty much said it all. I think you said he was disillusioned with everything. He also made it clear that he thought that Walker was finished. There's got to be a clear out, mate. There's got to be a clear out. Simple as that.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. Yeah. Yeah. So we Yeah, as usual. He hasn't had this though. He hasn't had this sort of run, has he? He's had a lot of good stuff happen. He's won things with Barca. He's been manager abroad and won things. He's won loads of stuff here. He hasn't had to contend with this, has he? So far, I think it's all new to him, Manny, isn't it?
Not quite. Not too long after winning the treble, I think his Barcelona team pretty much flattered to deceive, and he ended up, quitting the club and moving to Bayern Munich. And then obviously, he completed the stint over there and came to City. So he has had hardships before. Maybe nothing quite like this, though. Certainly not in a very long time. And how he steers the team through this, through these choppy waters, to determine how well he will be remembered. He has been beaten to the league title before, Jurgen Klopp doing that back in 2020. And it could very well be Liverpool, in fact, that end up, doing it again. So we'll see what Pep does. Will Guardiola lose Pep by the end of the season, or will he gain it back? We'll have to see.
Yeah, exactly. We will. We move on to something that was really horrible to hear and see. That Mikel Antonio was involved in a car crash. I believe it was yesterday, or was it the day before? May have been Saturday. But he was involved in a terrible car crash, which they got him out, survived. It was horrible. You see the wreck of the car, it looked terrible. I think it was a £260,000 or something, whatever it was. Was it a Ferrari, I think, or Lamborghini or something? Ferrari, I think, because he had actually previously crashed his Lamborghini in 2019. So he'd already had a crash. But this was horrible. It looked really bad. Thankfully, he came out of his life, though. But obviously, he's damaged his femur and looks like he's going to be out for at least a year. So it's not looking good, but at the end of the day, he's still alive, Manny.
Yep. And I think, one of these days he's going to have to retake his driving classes and exam. But, without joking, I have to say that when it comes to driving cars like this, it's no joke. You really have to make sure that you employ the safety procedures. And, of course, he's not the first footballer to get involved in a bit of a smash. I do remember the ex-Chelsea and Spurs goalkeeper Carlo Cudicini being involved in a motorbike smash, and spending time in the hospital. And that bloke, who had actually left Chelsea to go to Tottenham to try and start playing football again, had that thing happen to him. So, the lesson is he should have left Chelsea when he had the chance. But motor vehicle accidents are never a good thing, and people really have to take care of themselves a great deal. Follow all safety procedures, and just stay out of trouble.
So they don't know if, though, it might force him to retire. Do you think he will retire with all this? If it is that bad, he could actually retire now.
Probably not, because look, the report says that he broke his femur, which is, I think, I think that's the bone with the thigh and the hamstring, if memory serves me right.
Yeah, I think you're right. Anyway, I'm not entirely sure. I'm no expert.
No, I'm no expert, mate. I did study biology, but I probably won't remember my anatomy very well. But we'll obviously take a look at that. And the longest, strongest bone in your body, and I'm right, it is actually where you have the thigh and the hamstring, the upper leg. So depending on the surgery and how well it's done, obviously he'll probably have some plates inserted, just like I have some plates inserted into my right arm. And recovery will take some time, but he should come back. And another inspiration for him should be the Scotland goal, Craig Gordon. Now, in the 2003-2004 season, very early on, the poor bloke sustained a double leg fracture, and it was not unknown that he would even play again. And that was the latest injury, which was a sort of a catalogue for him. But whenever he's had an injury, he'd always come back and play even better. And even now, he's won back his rightful spot as Scotland's number one, and his Hearts team are starting to recover and climb the Premiership after a horrible start to the season. But that 2023-24 season, obviously, he was out for a very long time, and Zander Clark was playing instead of him. He had a long road to recovery, and if memory serves me right, I think he actually might have sustained that horrific fracture the season before that. So you can imagine that he was out for a very long time. He made a wonderful recovery in the second half of 2024 season, and obviously wanted to try and get himself fit and get a few games to try and force himself into contention for a spot in Scotland's European Championship squad for 2024 in Germany. Sadly, of course, he was the only goalkeeper of the four to be cut, with Angus Dunn, Zander Clark, and Kelly going instead of him. But obviously, he was happy to have had the motivation to come back, start walking again and playing again. And, through an even bigger twist of fate, he's now found himself playing more games for Scotland and has reclaimed his Scotland number one. He might possibly try and, back to Scotland their World Cup qualifying campaign for the USA, Canada, and Mexico 2026. So, and he's in his 40s right now. So, if Gordon can recover and continue to play, there's no reason why Antonio can't. And I think surgery and rehabilitation and so forth have become so advanced these days. I do believe that Antonio will be will fine, but it will take a long recovery. Let's not pretend that it won't.
No, true. Yeah, it's horrible, but he did come out of it alive, so you got to count his blessings there, surely. But if he does carry on with his career, he might not be the same player again. That's the problem, isn't it? A lot of players have done that in the past, had bad injuries, the likes of Aaron Ramsey, although he came back fairly well in the end. But he had a really terrible injury, didn't he? So you never know, really.
Oh, yes, Aaron Ramsey.
Yeah, it was horrible. It was sickening, that injury he got, wasn't it? It was horrible. But, yeah. But anyway, we'll move on. I only said that, obviously, as West Ham are playing tonight. Not long before kick-off. I think it's about 5 minutes or so. Or something like that before kick-off. What's you going to predict for this one, Manny? It could be the match where one of these managers leaves or sacked or whatever, depending on the result.
Yes, and I remember predicting that West Ham would end up winning and that Gary O'Neill would get the sack. But I think you said that maybe the Wolves would end up, coming out on top. So for once, you and I are split.
Yeah, banana splits. You remember that show? I love that show. God, that was a while ago, wasn't it? But yeah.
Yeah, I remember.
La 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 la. Sorry, don't go on with that. But yeah. But yeah. So, what are you predicting for this, mate?
West Ham 2, Wolves 1.
I'm still going Wolves, mate. Yeah, we are split, aren't we? Bloody hell. Yeah, I'm gonna go a few goals though. I'm gonna go 3-2 Wolves for this one.
Okay.
Could be a few goals in it, mate, and We move on to your game on Saturday, Manny, against Everton. What can you see happening there?
Okay, we'll see how it goes.
What about your game on Saturday against Everton? What can you see happening there, Manny?
Must win. No ifs, no buts, no war. Yeah, it's a must win. No ifs, no buts, no walnuts. And if we don't win, sack Arteta in the tunnel. Okay, go far. That's me all aside. But this game where we really have excuses. We've fallen a bit too far behind, and we have to make sure we get back because I think Liverpool have got Fulham, and I think a lot of people have said that about Fulham drawing against us is that they're going to end up going to Anfield and getting slapped. But don't underestimate this Fulham team, mind you. With the likes of Iwobi and company of the show, they will, give Liverpool a fight. See what happens. And Chelsea obviously have got you lot, and I think you'll want to say about that, won't you?
Yeah, well, I'll obviously do a proper preview of it on, I think, Thursday or Friday. I'll probably have Joe and Hanno on.
And I'll be back.
We go. He's gone again. If anyone in the live chat wants to put their scores in, predictions, you're welcome. Obviously, I'll be going very soon because obviously that match is going to start very soon, West Ham and Wolves. But we just get through these predictions quickly. Yeah, if anyone does want to put predictions in, Chelsea fan, Kev, whatever, you want to put them in, go for it. As Manny said, well, he didn't say a score for Arsenal, Everton. I'm going 3-1 Arsenal. Liverpool, Fulham. I would think Liverpool should carry on. I know going well. Fulham are good, a really good team, and they've done really well, and they held Arsenal. But I think Liverpool should still have too much. I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go 3-0 Liverpool. 3-0, yeah. 3-0 Liverpool. I've done a couple of predictions. I'll put 3-1 Arsenal for your one, Manny, and I've gone 3-0 Liverpool against Fulham.
Very good, very good. I'm going to go with 3-1 to Arsenal. I don't think Ray will. Yeah, I think you got one for the same thing. And as far as Liverpool and Fulham are concerned, I think Fulham might actually nick a goal. I think Keller has been found a little bit shaky. Yeah.
Right, Newcastle, Leicester. What are you going for there, mate?
The Harvey Barnes derby and Ruud van Nistelrooy going to St. James's Park. This is going to be a tasty one. I'm on the fence for this. Desmond.
I'm not. I'm going 2-1 Newcastle for this one. Yeah. No, actually, I'm going to go 3-1. 3-1. Right. Wolves, Ipswich. How about that one, Manny?
Wolves have to win. No way. Maybe if Gary O'Neill doesn't get sacked, if Wolves end up losing tonight, he'll get a win over Ipswich and stay a little bit longer. But I don't know. And for me, it'll be 2-1 to the Wolves.
I'm actually going to go for a Desmond with this one, to be honest. I just think there will be a few goals too. Forest Villa. Well, could Forest keep a good run going and beat Villa this time as well? What do you think?
Well, big news, of course, is Alex Moreno will not be able to play for Forest because he is on loan from Villa. So that could slightly weaken how well Moreno's been playing. But again, despite conceding only one goal in their last two games, I still think Villa might have some defensive issues. So they're going to have to really do a job to stop either Chris Wood or Taiwo Awoniyi from getting in behind them. And that means no slapstick, no fancy stuff, no trying to be too clever. I think Watkins or Duran will have, I think, Forest beat Villa 2-0. I can see this one ending in a Desmond.
I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go 1-1 for this one. Yeah, 1-1. And then on the Sunday we got Brighton Palace. What about that one, Manny? What do you think will happen there?
Ooh. Two German managers, and certainly two need of, improvements for their team. Goes without saying. I might just give the edge to Brighton here, I'm afraid.
Yeah, I would do as well. Although they lost one. Was it they lost one before that, and then they drew. They've been a little bit on and off lately. I don't know. I'm gonna go for a Palace win here. I'm gonna be a bit of a shock here. I think 2-1 Palace. I'm going that.
Yeah.
And the Manchester
yeah?
Sorry, mate. Sorry, Manny. What did you say, mate? Yeah. On the Manchester derby. What about that one? You still there, mate? You still there, Manny? Right. Anyway, I'm going to go. Oh, this is a tough one. Manchester, Man United, Man City, Man United. Well, both sort of a bit shaky at the moment. But I'm gonna go. I'm going to go 2-1 City for this. Yeah, 2-1 City.
3-1 for me. 3-1.
Right.
3-1 for me. I think City obviously will want to try to show their fans and their manager that, back and trying to get a little bit better. And I just think Amorim's really walked into a bit of hornet's nest mode. I really can't see him improving the team immediately. It will take some time, and they're going to have some more days. He really have to show what they're capable of.
Yeah, and now Chelsea, the Bees. We got no chance. Way Chelsea are going, no chance. It's away from home. We can't do nothing away from home. So I'm going 3-1 Chelsea.
I'll be generous and go for 3-2.
But I don't know. We're just poor away, Manny. We can't do it away from home. So I just got no hope for this at all. I know we beat Chelsea last season and we drew with them. So, but I don't know. I don't think we'll do anything. So no, 3-1 Chelsea. Another write-off for us away, I'm afraid. And Southampton Spurs. How about that? Surely Spud's to come back there.
3-1 Spurs. No. 3-1 Spurs. No excuse.
Yeah, I'm going 4-1 Spurs here.
Nice.
And the last one, Bournemouth West Ham.
His old club.
Next Monday. Bournemouth West Ham.
Ooh, this is very interesting. Bournemouth 3-1.
Yeah. Do you think Sloppy Teggy will be out by then anyway? Possibly.
Yeah, I think he'll be gone after that.
Yeah. I'm gonna go 2-1 Bournemouth for this. And that's that really. That's all the matches. That's all of them.
Yep.
So I'm rushing a little bit here, Manny, because obviously the football started as well. And I know he's going to do a cricket.
I was a bit surprised. Yeah, I was a bit surprised as well that you went for the prediction. We normally don't do that. I think you know, you jumped a little bit. And there is actually a really important story here on the issue of heading footballs and the health of players. I thought we could share it, but if we don't have time, then maybe we'll have to leave it for another.
Well, I don't know if we can go through it quickly at all. Is it a fairly quick one or article?
It's reasonably quick. I mean, I'll try and make it quick. Obviously, it's I mean, the article itself is long, but I will gloss the main portions. And obviously, you know, this particular article, BBC Sport talks about, you know, the fears of heading a football and how former Premiership players have actually suffered. So this is dated today, the 9th of December, and it's written by Frank Keogh and Natalie Perks, both journalists for BBC Sport. The players in question are Gary Pallister, who played for Manchester United under Alex Ferguson before returning to Middlesbrough, and Steve Howie, who was, of course, with both Manchester City and Leicester City, and both of them were also capped by England. Yeah. So, right. So, Pallister said he experienced sickening migraines during his career, while Howie has undergone scans to show that his brain is in cognitive decline. The worry and fear is always there, and I think it is for a lot of people, said Pallister. Researchers found that professional footballers have an elevated risk of suffering brain injuries, a little bit like a lot of rugby players we see also going through similar problems. Leading campaigner June Kay, the head safe the culture secretary Lisa Nandy, to ask that heading the ball is declared a national issue in order to safeguard players in the future. Sickening migraines would leave Pallister unable to train for 2 days during his career. And from the age of 17, he'd occasionally have tingling down his arms, suffer crippling headache, which would blur his vision. He said he'd probably get 3 to 4 migraines a year, quite debilitating. You know, vision, the speech, the tingling, the violent headaches. It would be like that for hours until eventually he'd throw up, and that would be the start of the release of the pain. And I see you've already read that article on the group chat. And Pallister then said the following day would leave me absolutely washed out. The 2 days you'd be out of the game, the pain, the sickness, the feeling after, awful. You kind of wondered if being a centre half, having to head a lot of football, that was anything to do with the cause of it. It wasn't until I actually stopped playing football that the migraines disappeared. And Pallister also, now 59, remembers being accidentally punched in the head by a goalkeeper when competing for a header. And despite Alex Ferguson wanting him to play on, he ended up in hospital with concussion. And what he says now is, I think at this moment I'm okay. I can do my Sudokus, a little bit of brain training. And it's enough to know that what I did go through with the migraines and concussions and being knocked out, that the potential is there for me to have brain damage. And obviously, you know, Pallister considers himself to be a little bit lucky, but, you know, there are some warnings. As far as Howie was concerned, he also played for Newcastle. But he has noticed that late he doesn't speak very clearly, struggles to get words out, or he often forgets things that were said 10 minutes earlier. Short-term memory loss, of course, being an early sign of dementia, and he had an MRI scan that showed some cognitive decline. Howie did say the effects of heading were never really talked about, and defenders would even break in there with extra practice in pre-season so they wouldn't feel so soft. Howie said, when you think about it now, it's crazy, but there wasn't the kind of thought about what could possibly happen afterwards. It was always just a case of, this is my job. And Howie was capped 4 times by England during the 90s. He's among a group of claimants taking legal action against football governing bodies over brain injuries allegedly suffered during their careers. And, you talk about the egg chasing, as you call it. Players, the likes of Steve Gibson and Ryan Jones and others are also doing the same thing. And while older footballs in the 1960s and 70s were heavier, speed and movement of more modern balls could cause their own problems. Howie said there'd be times when you'd head it and it'd go black, a shot where it's a shot pace. You'd have that where am I feeling, and then realize very quickly, this is where I am, and you just get on with it. Pallister and Howie are friends, the family of former Borough defender Bill Gates. No, not that Bill Gates, another one, who sadly passed away last year at the age of 79 as a result of chronic traumatic encephalopathy, or CTE, and his wife Judith helped the Head Say Football charity, and they helped organise the first adult football match with heading restrictions at Spennymoor Town in 2021. It's only when you hear stories of some of the ex-players you kind of think, "Whoa, this could happen to me," said Howie. And the team under 9 David Parr has welcomed a rule which has seen deliberate heading in matches phased out by the FA at under 11 level over 3 seasons. We think it's a win-win situation here because heading's been taken out of the game. So first and foremost, we're protecting the boys, said Parnaby, ex-Middlesbrough Academy director, whose son Stuart was also a player at Borough. And in my humble honest opinion, said Parnaby, the game has improved at this level. The players are now being creative with passing in and dribbling in. They really enjoy it. And while Pallister and Howie have said that they would probably have played the game knowing the rules, they say more can be done to educate current players and help former professionals in their retirement. And I don't want to read the rest of the article because it talks about research being done, about how people who head the ball regularly are more at risk, and other people who are affected include Joe Kinnear, the late ex-manager and first defender, the family of World Cup winner Nobby Stiles, who passed away 4 years ago, had both prostate cancer and advanced dementia caused by CTE. So I want to thank you for letting me read this article, Steve, because we talk about several pressing issues in the game today, heading being one of them. And I think a lot of people are going to say, the game's gone, contact sport, you've got to try to do whatever you can with it. But, these injuries to your head and your brain are very, very insidious. And if we're not careful, we could see even more people, falling victim to this. So I don't know if we could necessarily see a situation where heading potentially be outlawed in the game completely. But I don't know what more could be done. I mean, I remember when Patrick Cech had that horrific head injury, he had that head mask. Maybe, in fact, we could have a situation where the centre-backs and some centre-forwards who are tall enough, who head the ball, are required to wear those head coverings as a means of protecting them. And if you look in the egg chasing, I think several players actually wear that. Do you think that would be a good idea?
Yeah, I would say so, Manny. I did read that article you put on there, and I'd seen something about it again the other day, and it just seems that it's the problem, isn't it?
I'll be back, Steve.
Yeah, okay, mate. That is the real problem of heading the ball, but it's all part of football, unfortunately, the heading of the ball. I think it was worse for those players back in the day. Really, really hard footballs, really heavy, hard footballs. It was worse for them. okay, I think it's slightly lighter now, the ball, and smaller and lighter, I would say. But, you know, anything that involves heading it and head collisions or any sort of thing where it affects the head, you're not completely gonna get away with it and ignore it, get past it. It's still gonna come back to bite you by the looks of it. And for all these players that we knew, legends that we knew growing up, it affected them horribly. You know, especially heading those really hard balls, heavy balls. It was it hasn't done them any good. It's still going to happen maybe a little bit with these lighter balls, still smaller balls, but you know, it's all part and parcel, obviously, of playing football, I'm afraid. But as Manny says, maybe some head protection might work out, especially for the players that head it more, the defenders, obviously, and whatever, that are heading it a lot more. I would get them some head protection, as Manny says, similar to what Petr Cech wore and others have worn, obviously. But yeah, thanks for bringing that to our attention there, Manny. It was brilliant, and obviously it is sad to see that it's still happening. But you know, it's never unfortunately going to go away, is it? I don't think. You know, unless you do get some sort of protection on the head. Maybe will that still stop it? I don't think it will somehow, but I don't know. It's not good though, unfortunately.
Well, you know, when he was asked to wear that after that accident, I think ever since then, obviously, I don't think he had another injury, but he also was quoted as that it was, you know, a big help for him in terms of enabling him to continue his career. And of course, he ended up becoming one of the greatest of all time. And as you know, he played for us and ended his career with us. But had he not sustained that injury, would he have gone on to do even to think at least one more title? And bear in mind, of course, that season Chelsea did have Carlo Cudicini and Henrique Hilario as the backup goalkeepers, but Cudicini was also injured in that game, so Hilario ended up playing quite a few games for Chelsea during that period. And I'm just saying, though, Steve, that it's high time that you know, a lot of thought is given to protecting players, given the big health risks. And you know, people are going to say that you know, football and the egg chasing are contact sports, and you know, these are the risks, the occupational hazards. But you know, it's very easy to say that. What if that were your relative or loved one who enjoyed playing the game and who ended up getting themselves very badly injured in a big way and suffering that way? There was certainly a former player from Mansfield Town whose last years of his life were absolute hell, according to his now widow. And she said that she was happy that he's now gone because she hated seeing him suffer so much. And, you know, that's not the way it should really be. But, you know, all we can do is just hope that there will be a solution to this, a resolution to that. And, you know, we hopefully won't see too many people suffering these cases. But hope and history seldom rhyme, I'm afraid. Seamus Haney was wrong.
Yeah, yeah, it's sad. It really is sad. But not a lot, I suppose, unless there's just nothing we can do. You can't. I mean, if you try and get heading out of it, you know, you can't take heading out of football. Surely it's part and parcel of the game. Heading the football, you got to. So I just don't know how they can get around that. I really don't. There's just no way. But you know, I don't know what we can do. All we can do is like try donating and trying to get something that may help these footballers in later life. You know, that's all we can do, I suppose. Really.
Maybe, yeah.
Anyway, mate, do you want to shout out your socials there?
Yep. Well, I'm sorry that we had to end this stream on a bit of a sad note, but obviously, we are a debate show and we do have to discuss some of these pressing issues in the game today. And I thought with the article coming out today was, of course, the right time to do it. I don't think we'd have another opportunity. But big up to Steve for hosting this stream, and you can catch me here on the Hive of Football chat and also on the channel where he talks England cricket. And I joined him. We had a wonderful stream where we talked about our twin triumphs for the men and the women in both the Test series against New Zealand and the players against South Africa. And obviously, we're going to talk a lot more about this on the After the Boundary show on Hanno's channel, where I think Steve will be there, and I think I might join in. I don't know. We'll see. But also catch me on Del Boy Gunner TV, Oris Talks Football, Tony Claude Gunner TV. I was on his call-in show last night, and I might possibly be coming back to the channel more frequently in the future. We'll have to see. Obviously, Danny Ace TV, Rich Sports, Football United, Gundown, UK, Southern Gooner, Spurs Asia TV, Warren's Team, and many other channels that are important to me. Yes, there is a check-in post for them all, but I'll have to write them, of course. And yes, it's Monday. Great week of football, cricket as well, Premiership football, fancy, and of course it's getting a bit cold back in the UK. So stay warm and enjoy the Christmas season. Get the advent calendars out and get your crackers ready, and just enjoy yourselves and do unto others as you would have others do unto you, and don't do anything that Mr. B or I wouldn't do. Till then, farewell to thee, goodbye, and God bless to all of you. And I'm going to skedaddle. Cheers, everyone.
Yeah, thanks, Manny. Thanks, my friend, for coming on. As usual, always great to have you on. Obviously, the football's starting, but it's all 0-0. Still 0-0 the game, West Ham and Wolves. Maybe I possibly will be going on the cricket stream. Hanno's got it on at the moment, obviously on his channel, Coach's Corner. So he's doing that After the Boundary show. So I'll possibly be on there in a few minutes. Obviously the match is on, but I'll probably watch that in the background anyway. I may not be on there too long anyway, but also we'll be having young Hanno possibly on my streams for the preview. Well, he will be coming on for the preview. The Chelsea and the Bees, obviously on Sunday, on maybe on mine or on his, who knows? Probably on mine, and maybe having Joe on as well, Joe Tier, who's another Chelsea fan. So, I could be outnumbered there, but yeah. So, so check that out. That'll probably be, I think, Thursday. Might be Thursday, might be Friday. I'm not sure yet. Doing that review, preview. Big up to United TV. Big up, mate. Cheers for coming in, bro. Cheers, Rich. I know you're live at 8:30. As I say, I might be on the cricket stream though, so I doubt if I'll be able to come on, mate, or in the live chat. Don't think so, really. I'm just about to wrap this up, by the way, Rich, so you're a little bit late, mate, coming on, but big up the chat, yeah. I think they've mainly gone, mate, to be honest. I think Chelsea fans gone and Kev that were in here. But thanks to them all, Chelsea fan and Kev, and to you, mate, for popping in. Pretty much going to wrap this up now anyway. As I say, there will be, the preview for the game against Chelsea. Away, it's a tough one. We need to win. We've got to start winning. Away, it's hard. It's terrible. Our form away from home is poor. I can't see it getting any better against Chelsea, to be honest. The way they're going, fantastic run of form. It's looking really bleak for us. We keep getting these wins at home, and then we go away and we lose. So it's win, lose, all the time. But anyway, smash the likes and subscribe. Yeah, please do that. Yeah. as Rich says there, I'm going over 2 hours again, pretty much. I wasn't going to, but I am. So, but thanks to everyone that has been in live chat and watching on live or on playback. Follow me on Instagram at Mr. B for Life 182 and subscribe to Mr. B Hive Football Chat and Mr. B Chats England Cricket. As I say, there will be some cricket streams on there. England, obviously, playing again. The men's will be finishing on Saturday, the third test in New Zealand. And obviously, the women are playing Wednesday. And third and final ODI to decider to win the series. So let's hope they win that. And I'll be doing a reaction to that probably Thursday on my cricket channel. So thanks anyway. It's been great again. Another great stream. A lot to chat about. A lot of discussion. And but for the time being, guys, I'm out of here. I'm bouncing. Thanks everyone. Goodbye. Cheers.